Somewhere in the rainforest, a microscopic killer is drifting down from the canopy. This spore is specialized to strip a creature of its physical autonomy, overriding its internal systems, while the victim watches its own body being used as a tool. The target is a worker ant. In its normal state, this insect is a highly efficient, socially programmed part of a colony, dedicated entirely to foraging for food and maintaining the nest. That cycle ends when the spore of a fungus called Ophiocordyceps unilateralis makes contact. Because the spore is so lightweight, the ant continues its work, unaware that the incident occurred. This diagram shows the mechanical reality of the breach. The spore secretes a specialized enzyme that melts a microscopic hole through the ant's thick exoskeleton, allowing the fungus to force its way into the body cavity. Once the spore is inside, the takeover begins immediately. The host is now living on a fixed, invisible timeline. The ant's biological armor has been compromised without triggering a single alarm, sealing its fate before it even feels the effects of the infection. Over the first few days, the spread is silent. The ant continues its daily routine, walking and working among its peers, while the invader grows stronger under the surface. Inside, the fungus builds its infrastructure. Mycelium vines wrap around the ant's organs, siphoning nutrients while avoiding the vital systems needed to keep the host alive. To steer, the fungus pumps chemicals into the nervous system, forcing the ant's muscles to involuntarily contract. Driven by these chemical commands, the ant abruptly abandons its colony. It leaves its familiar trails and marches blindly into the dense jungle. Throughout this physiological hijacking, the fungus avoids the brain entirely, leaving it completely intact and functioning. The ant remains fully conscious throughout the ordeal, effectively trapped as a passenger inside its own walking corpse. The parasite now forces the ant to climb toward a specific, elevated location. Its movements are jerky and robotic, as it struggles against its own limbs to reach the canopy. This climb serves a precise evolutionary purpose. The fungus is navigating the ant toward a leaf or branch that offers the exact humidity and temperature required for its own reproduction. Once the host reaches the target height, the fungus triggers a death grip. It forces the ant's jaws to clamp down permanently onto the plant's surface, locking the insect in place forever. Only after the vehicle is anchored does the fungus drop its restraints. It consumes the remainder of the ant's internal organs, finally ending the host's life. With the ant dead, the infection reaches its climax. A long biological stalk erupts from the back of the host's head, growing several times the length of the ant's body. This stalk functions as a biological cannon, designed to broadcast the next generation of the fungus from its elevated vantage point. From this height, the stalk releases thousands of fresh spores directly onto the foraging trails of the colony below, ensuring that the cycle of enslavement begins again for a new set of victims. The success of Ophiocordyceps highlights a ruthless evolutionary strategy, a calculated cycle of biological hijacking that turns a host's own survival instincts into a mechanism for its destruction.